I had a minor technical difficulty, but I'm here now. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Please give me thumbs up if you can hear me all right. I know I'm talking over the music, but just let me know if it's good. It's all good. Thank you, Iron Woman. What's the name? Iron Woman. I hope everybody's doing all right. It's been a fun week. Always is. Oh, it's so good to see you. A light in the matrix is... Ugh. See, I can't even say your name. A light in the matrix is in the house. Saw you on X. You were going live, so I came to say hi and give some love. Miss you. Oh, I miss you too. Good to see you. That was fun. The Green Pill episode. I did Green Pill episodes with her, and that was awesome. Taking it to the next level. Yay! Thank you so much, Light in the Matrix. All right, guys. Awesome. We're getting all the stuff set up over here. I see. Okay, hold on. Let me scroll down. So good to see all you guys. Iron Woman says, is it okay to ask you what you think about Bonnie news? Oh, heck yeah. We're going to go into that, actually. Maybe I should pull that to the front. I'll pull it to the front. Yeah, I'll pull that up. Anything else, guys? Yeah, if there's anything you want to talk about, let's do it. That's what this is all about. All opinions are welcome. Obviously, keep it nice, civil. Good evening. You guys are so wonderful. I see Rob Rott out here. Good to see you. Seen you before. Malia too. Good to see you. God is with us. Was gifted. Oh, thank you so much, by the way, Light in the Matrix, for the gifts, the gifting. You're such a sweetheart. And please give me a like, guys, if you can. Just a jelly in the wild. That's what we all are. Jelly in the wild. I love it. I think there's something so magical about jellyfish. I grew up on a boat, and so the jellyfish were always so magical and beautiful. Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk. This should be a fun one. I got all kinds of stuff. I woke up this morning, and I'm just like scrolling. I'm like, sometimes I think to myself, there is a lot of news, and there always has been from the beginning of time. I've been loving learning about the Roman Empire, the Roman Republic, which came first for like the first 500 years, and then the Roman Empire, and then after that. But the thing is that the one important thing when you're learning history, you realize the same thing has happened over and over again. And it's not that it's a bad thing. It's actually really cool. If you could bank on it, then you know how to progress extremely fast. But, the only thing that's different is our connectivity. We can talk to everybody around the world now. And that is the whole point of this show is we can talk. We can talk. Let's talk. So I'm going to jump into it. I heard questions about Pam Bondi. I saw that and I was like, oh, here we go. I'm somebody that really doesn't say anything until it's official. Does that make sense? Because I do want to bring, I don't want to sound Fox News-ish, but, fair and balanced news is what I'm trying to do here. I will give my opinion, but I do like to not say, I think this is going to happen and get everybody in a frenzy, get everybody in a rile, and do it for clicks and all these things. And by the way, people do what they're going to do. It's fine. But I do want to just bring the news. So this was a clip. And I'm also going to go to Trump's post. Let's see what is being said right now.
During this ride in the Beast to and from the Supreme Court yesterday, President Trump and Attorney General Bondi talked about the possibility of her leaving DOJ. So hours later, when these photos were taken of Bondi at the president's address to the nation, she knew what could be coming. Hours earlier, the vice president saluted her and her now temporary replacement.
Let me say thanks to Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, our Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General, for supporting this mission.
The president says Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend. We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much-needed and important new job in the private sector. A senior White House official tells Fox the president has considered making this move for a while, and there were no signs of trouble during a trip last month to Graceland.
You're a big fan of Elvis family.
My mother was, especially.
Also on notice after President Trump's epic fury address to the nation, NATO partners.
It can't just be that when Europe calls for help, the United States helps. This needs to be a mutually beneficial relationship.
President Trump has informed allies in Europe the U.S. will help keep the Strait of Hormuz open, but only in a supporting role.
Go to the strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy.
Global oil prices spiked during the president's 19-minute remarks, but economic advisors in the West Wing believe price hikes won't last.
The fundamentals of the global energy market are okay. What we're seeing is a temporary disruption because of what's happening.
And tonight, White House officials are going on the record to tell us that Tulsi Gabbard's job as the Director of National Intelligence is safe, despite some reporting online to the contrary. Stephen Chung, the comms director here at the White House, says President Trump has total confidence in Director Gabbard, and any insinuation otherwise is totally fake news. So no other big changes to the president's team today. Right.
Peter Ducey, live.
Thank you, Peter Ducey. Okay. So let's talk about it. And you guys can definitely, put in. Oh, by the way, sorry about, I'm reorganizing my room and getting Brad's big old amp in here so we can do some rock and roll music. It's going to be great. But yes. Okay. So Pam Bondi, I'll give you my opinion. I'll give you my level-headed opinion based on what I think might be happening. So in Trump's first term, when he had Pence in and a few other people that turned out to be total traitors, you don't really know a traitor is a traitor until you start seeing what they're doing. Now, I'm not calling Pam Bondi a traitor, but I'm just saying you don't know who's who. When you inherit Washington, D.C., you know what I'm saying? And it has been embedded by deep state for quite some time, multiple administrations. You're going to have to go through people. And I've said this before, but I always think about it. In the card game Magic, there's strategies, multiple ways to win. And one way is not even in the main battlefield. It's just making them play cards that make them mill through their deck. Because when they get to the bottom of their deck, the game is over. It is. Doesn't matter what's happening on the board. So these could be those types of things where it's kind of weeding through the swamp. Who can we trust? Who can we not? I tend to also lean on that Trump knows a little bit more than what they show the public. Does that make any sense? And that's why I always liken it to a chess game. So there's also another theory as well that these people are being moved and put into different places for safety reasons. Okay. You have people that are going after some of the highest powers. Now, nothing's happened to Tulsi. She hasn't moved or anything. And they just said rumors of that aren't true. I sure hope Tulsi stays there because she's pretty strong. She's pretty bold. But we have to remember, she is calling out a prior president, Barack Hussein Obama, who wasn't even a U.S. citizen, who has been a traitor, right? And so you got to understand that these people are in the hot seat. And there is a lot of hot takes online. I'm not going to give you hot takes because I don't think there's any hot takes to this. I think it's exactly what Trump said it is. It's a chess game at a very high level. And so when you are moving people in and out, let's say, for example, like for Pam, for example, and I'll move on after this and I'll see what you guys say too. When you're playing chess and sometimes you have, let's say you have your horse, okay, you've gotten it out. And now the way it was protecting somebody has been moved so you can move someone else, right? Whatever strategy you're doing. But then you're going to have to move it back or you're going to lose it. Everybody needs to remember in spy war, this is a reality. And sometimes we have to see multiple moves ahead before, and sometimes you have to take 2 steps back before you go forward. And it's annoying as all get out, but it's just a fact. Because like these are things that we know from life, right? If you've ever played games, if you've ever played chess, you understand that in order to win, sometimes you have to go backwards. Right. So always keep that in mind. I really don't know the full reasons why. There's what, they tell us. And then there's what Trump has told us. So I'm going to read it again. I think he read it, but I'm just going to read it again. So Trump says, Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my attorney general over the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing massive crackdown and crime across country. Also, people need to understand, sometimes it's just like work related. Like, holy cow, I am burnt out, Mr. Prez. I am just, and that's not wrong either. I mean, she was literally attacked and crucified online for like a half a year. Okay. This was happening, about Epstein files and all these things. So we don't know, right? But it's what Trump is saying here. So she oversaw a massive crackdown in crime across the country, with murders plummeting to their lowest levels since 1900s. We love Pam. So, note that he said that. And she will be transitioning to a much needed and important new job in the private sector. That caught my eye. To be announced at a date in the near future. And our Deputy Attorney General and very talented and respected legal mind, Todd Blanche, will step in to serve as acting Attorney General. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. All right. Almost spilled my coffee there. Uh-oh. Yeah. So there we go. So that's kind of all I got on Pam. I mean, I wish her well, and hopefully everything is good. But yeah, I know she was under a lot of heat concerning the Epstein files and things like that. I honestly thought they released quite a bit, and I honestly understand the situations for protection. However, I'm under the belief that there is an ongoing investigation. I'm going to hold on to that. Because this is where the rubber meets the road, right? I'm an anon. I believe the Q posts. I believe in order to move forward, we do have to have some justice. Okay. Is it going to be what everybody wants it to look like? Probably not. But is there going to be people saved, child trafficking stopped, people arrested, people found guilty that are panicking, that maybe have, take their own life or things like, yeah, that'll probably happen. I am still hoping there will be a grand reveal of a grand conspiracy to control our beautiful United States of America, to just take it over, steal our money, pay for wars where they're literally just killing innocent people and just stealing our money. Yeah. And also, that's the other thing. People that compare that to what Trump is doing, forever wars to what Trump is doing, just do not understand basic. And I'm not even somebody that knows anything much about war, but when you're seeing what they're doing, it's very tactical. They have assets that they're going for. You can also tell by the pushback in the press, the massive attacks about it, that to me means he's definitely on target. I feel like Iran has been used by the deep state and the global cabal as a tool to always keep us under check, right? Fear is such a powerful weapon, so powerful. But even more powerful than fear is love. And it's something that it's not the little squishy mushy love. It is love for God, love for country, that you will do whatever you can to preserve and protect freedom. And that is a lot more powerful than any fear that you will ever have. So, all right. So now we're going to move on. Actually, it's funny because we're speaking about war. I found this. I'm going to go through a lot of the stuff I pulled up. And, actually, I'm going to jump down here because we see people talking. We got some chit chat. Iron Woman says, I'm glad it's official. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like her. Like I said, I was just kind of like, obviously I want more, right? But I was like, but it looks like maybe it wasn't working out so well. So yeah, it's good. It's definitely good if she wasn't up to snuff, or there's some other reasons. Good evening, Persnick. Good evening. Glad I found you. I'm so glad you found me. Definitely give me a follow. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. We're going to go through all kinds of stuff. We're going to go through space stuff. We're going to go through all kinds of stuff. We're going to go. It's going to be great. All right. Push Pipe. Hi, Abby. So good to see you. Everybody over on YouTube, give me thumbs up, please, or a heart. Great analogy. What did he say? Where we going to go? Okay, Pam was the starting pitcher. Now it's time to bring in the closer. I like that take. I mean, yeah, we want that closer, you know. But you know, it's funny because like right now we're coming up to Good Friday, and it's, you know, coming up to Easter, the whole thing with Jesus. And right now in this in-between time is this waiting, right? It's a wait. What a crazy wait. And then after Jesus dies, think about those disciples. They had to wait there. This is what I was really putting my mind into it. I was thinking, now think about this. You were following this guy around and you're like, yes, he is the Son of God, meaning God sent a part of himself, the creator of all that we see, all that we know, sound, sight, physical touch, atoms, universe, sent a piece of him into a human life being form to tell us that even though we're exposed to this sin stuff, that's okay. He's going to take that from you, whatever this portal of thing that we have to pass through, that we can't go see God because we're covered in it. Jesus will take it from you. Okay, that's what that's all about. I don't know why it's that way, but it's just, it seems that that's the way. And I'm getting lost in my thought. But anyways, it had to do about waiting. It had to do all about waiting. And in that transition time, a lot of people just go, it wasn't real. Like with Jesus, you know, freaking died. Son of God wouldn't die. This is bull crap. It wasn't real. Stupid. Wasted my time. Right? But then there's the ones that believed, that had faith. Faith is so powerful. Faith can, in a way, intimidate the enemy. They just don't understand it. They won't stop. You know, like I see Lucifer and the demons. They're just like, these people. Why aren't they quit? It's because we have the Holy Spirit with us. We're not going to quit. We'll never freaking quit. Why would we quit? How could you? It's like waking up out of the Matrix. You're like, well, it was cool in the Matrix, but it's fake. Like, we want to build the real kingdom, right? Does that make sense? So, okay. Enough of Abby's analogies. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm always like preaching or something. I'm not. I love you all. I realize I get like so. All right. So let's see what Pete has to say. This looks like it has to do with guns, Second Amendment.
Our great republic was founded on a simple yet bold idea. Our rights as citizens are not granted to us by government, but instead by God. 250 years ago, the Revolutionary War was fought to secure our God-given rights. The Second Amendment to our Constitution enshrines the right of all citizens to carry weapons to protect themselves, their families, and their fellow countrymen. The War Department's uniformed service members are trained at the highest and unwavering standards. These warfighters, entrusted with the safety of our nation, are no less entitled to exercise their God-given right to keep and bear arms than any other American. Our warfighters defend the right of others to carry. They should be able to carry themselves. Recent events like what happened at Fort Stewart, Holloman Air Force Base, or Pensacola Naval Air Station have made clear that some threats are closer to home than we would like. In these instances, minutes are a lifetime, and our service members have the courage and training to make those precious short minutes count. Before today, it was virtually impossible. Most people probably don't know this. It was virtually impossible for War Department personnel to get permission to carry and store their own personal weapons aligned with the state laws where we operate our installations. I mean, effectively, our bases across the country were gun-free zones. Unless you're training or unless you are a military policeman, you couldn't carry, you couldn't bring your own firearm for your own personal protection on to post. Well, that's no longer. The memo I'm signing today directs installation commanders to allow requests for personal protection to carry a privately owned firearm with the presumption that it is necessary for personal protection. If a request is for some reason denied, the reason for that denial will be in writing and will explain in detail the basis for that direction. Again, the presumption is service members will be able to have their Second Amendment right on post. Not all enemies are foreign, nor are they all outside our borders. Some are domestic. Confirming your God-given right to self-protection is what I'm signing into action today. And I'm proud to do so.
Oh, he's going to sign it. I had no idea, guys. Talk about defanged and declawed. Jeez. Okay. Right? I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad. And for those who kind of understand that there might be at one point when chance ran quite a bit of civil unrest, we definitely need our military forces to be able to have weapons. I mean, like, goodness gracious. Yeah, so that blew me away. Yeah, Iron Woman says, I did not know they were so unarmed. Neither did I. Neither did. Yeah, and Zep Medic, oh my gosh, about time. Yeah, so that was a little interesting tidbit I found, and I'm glad that you guys thought that was good too. Okay, so now this was originally posted by Jefferson Rising, and I say in 40 years, Trump's message has never changed. That's consistency. That's authenticity. That's power. And I'm going to play this. It's really great video.
September 2nd, 1987. A private citizen pays $94,801 to run a full-page open letter in the New York Times, Washington Post, and Boston Globe. The headline, "There's nothing wrong with America's foreign defense policy that a little backbone can't cure." That man was Donald Trump. And for nearly 40 years, no matter who was in the White House, his message never changed. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. They fund Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members with roadside bombs across the Middle East. And weeks ago, Iran launched 2 ballistic missiles at Diego Garcia, a joint U.S.-UK military base in the Indian Ocean, home to nearly 2,500 American personnel. An attempted strike on American forces over 2,000 miles from Tehran, using missiles Iran had denied even existed. The threat isn't hypothetical, it's here. Iran lied, Americans died. President Trump has said it 74 times on the record, and counting, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. In his first term, he withdrew from the failed Iran deal, imposed maximum pressure sanctions, and eliminated Qasem Soleimani, the architect of Iran's terror operations responsible for hundreds of American deaths. In June 2025, Operation Midnight Hammer struck Iran's nuclear facilities at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. And when Iran refused to stop rebuilding, when they continued developing missiles capable of reaching American bases and European capitals, he acted again. February 28, 2026. The United States military has begun major combat operations in Iran. The critics say it every time. This will start a war. They said it about Soleimani. They said it about the sanctions. They said it about Midnight Hammer. But strength doesn't start wars. Weakness does. For 40 years, Trump's never changed. He stayed the same and put Americans first.
America first.
From Midtown Manhattan to the Oval Office, he never surrendered.
We will never give in, we will never give up, and we will never back down. We will never, ever surrender.
That was freaking good. Okay. Can I pull this down? So, you know what? I was thinking about all this, guys. Like, think about this. The global cabal. So I'm kind of like foggy. They're so smart, right? Okay. I wrote down a little note because I was like, I'm gonna forget this after the video. So I said those for war were given a forever war. Okay, so the people that say during 9/11 that they really thought we were like attacked by terrorists that were like, just acting alone or whatever. The ones that are like, yeah, let's go war, let's save our country. They wanted more like what's happening right now, right? Epic fury. But they got a forever war. Those against the military going in, whatever, right? Against Bush doing his forever war, which is what it started as. They wanted less military. So then that disarmed us. So basically they funded the very forever. Yeah. And then they funded the Middle East terrorist groups to continue those forever wars. So it was just like, it's the worst trap ever. It's the worst trap ever. And then people think that Trump is continuing that same thing. Do not remember. And I'm fairly young, but I can remember the difference. Like we were at war over in the Middle East for like 20 plus years, guys. It felt like forever. Just, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. Then turns out we were smuggling drugs back for them, like the opium. We were helping them. Our military was guarding their opium plantations because we can't destroy the economy that Iran or wherever it was. If you guys know, let me know. Their economy depends on the opium, the poppy seed plant. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then they were helping them ship it. Just nuts. Absolutely nuts. Trump is bringing a new era. And that is transparency, going to do what they said they're going to do, stop fraud. Oh, and by the way, Nick Shirley got hacked. I don't know if anyone saw that, but I think he got his account back. But yes, I thought that was a really, really good video. Okay, so now this whole ballroom thing, why can't I make it bigger? I guess that's as big as we'll go, guys. I've told Brad from the beginning, I said, I think I said, there's something else going on. And he can verify this. Now, what I thought was, I was like, what if they discovered these cocaine tunnels? This is my dream. Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, their cocaine tunnels. Actually, it's terrible, though, human trafficking tunnels. And honestly, I have no idea about that. But I was joking about it. And I said, but there might be something going on there. Turns out there's a military installation that Trump's also putting underneath the ballroom. And I'll play a clip from that. It was from, I think it was a gaggling with the press on Air Force One. I think it was a few days ago. But so he put this out and he says, I would like to thank the hardworking commissioners and staff of the National Capital Planning Commission, who just voted overwhelmingly 8-1 to approve the magnificent White House ballroom, now rising on this hallowed ground. I am pleased to announce that even board member Senator Ron Paul, known as an extraordinary difficult vote, voted a strong yes. For more than 150 years, every president has dreamt about having a ballroom at the White House to accommodate people for grand parties, state visits, and even in the modern day inaugurations. And that's interesting because I think he mentions the bulletproof glass. Yeah, we'll get to that. I am honored to be the first president to finally get this much needed project, which it is on time and under budget, underway. See, Trump wouldn't have it any other way. Brad would tell you because he's such a construction guy. There was some video of him walking around. You could tell he was getting his jollies about seeing the cats, and the backhoes back there. So he still has that construction side for sure. When completed, it'll be the greatest and most beautiful ballroom of its kind anywhere in the world, and a fabulous compliment to our beautiful and storied White House. Storied White House. Interesting. President Donald J. Trump. Okay. Here's the video, guys. This was March 29th. So yeah, it's a couple days ago.
Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed.
What the military is building
Okay, so he's saying they didn't even really want this to come out, but there was a lawsuit and then it had to come out.
Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. But the military is building a massive complex under the ballroom, and that's under construction, and we're doing very well. So we're ahead of schedule. That's part of it. The ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built under the military, including from drones and including from any other thing. The glass on the windows, you see the big windows, the glass is extremely thick. It's high-grade bulletproof glass. So all of the windows are bulletproof. I think the Times wrote, gee, some of the windows are fake. We have no fake windows. They talked about a stairway in the South. We don't have a stairway in the South. That was replaced a long time ago. But this is how the military is building a...
All right, so there's that. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? I have crazy conspiracy theories. We're going to get, actually, I'm going to play, it's kind of at the end of this, I'm going to play the preview for the Bob Lazar story, which is a documentary that's going to be released, I think, tomorrow. Some people hate him, some people like him, has to do with aliens. But before that, we're even going to get to the NASA stuff. So just hang out. It's going to be fun. I know I'm going to try to keep it upbeat. I get so off track. I'm sorry. But I guess that's what's talk is all about, right? All right. So Iron Woman says Afghanistan. Yes. Okay. So that's probably where the poppy fields were. And all these things are on record. And that's why history is so important. Like, I'm here now, like, thinking I grew up with that. But to people, like, let's say, that are in their 20s, they don't even remember that, especially since the internet's been wiped. Like, we used to use the Wayback Machine from, I'd say, about 2017 to about 2020, 21, when the election was stolen. And then it has been wiped. Somebody went there and cleaned it. I think it was the CIA. That's what I think. But anyways, they don't want people to know history, because history, you can spot patterns. And if you can spot patterns, you can catch them. You can see them. They like to hide in the darkness, right? Okay. So we are moving on. Now, this is going to be a fun topic because I don't know anybody's stance in here, and that's fine. I'll just tell you. I'm not going to attack you if you have different opinions. Okay. Sorry. My hair is so scruffy. I'm sorry. I know everybody hates when people touch their hair, but my hair is so scruffy. I'm sorry. Some people believe the earth is flat. Some people believe the earth is round. Some people believe the moon's not real, and some people believe it's real. Okay. I am of the traditional view that I do believe we are on a round earth. And I do believe there's other celestial bodies out there. And I believe there's so much more than what we've been told. Now, before I continue, I believe also, and I know it upsets people, but that I think the 1969 Apollo photos on the moon, I don't think those are real. I don't think they're real. There's too many things. Okay. And you guys probably know. However, I do believe space is real. And I believe there's a lot of things we don't know, like it's about the physics of space, how things work. I think we just know a fraction of things. Having the pleasure to talk to General Quast about things like, kind of like particle physics, string theory, how everything's connected, our understanding of time and space is not really, we're at a very like a teenager level, if that makes sense. That's how I feel. Okay. And so we're going to jump into this whole thing with this NASA thing. Now, I've never liked NASA. I will tell you from the beginning, NASA was started by Werner von Braun. Werner von Braun was a Nazi scientist that was brought over through Project Paperclip. And he had very interesting ideas. He also has a book where he talks about a planet, and I mentioned on the stream before, a planet where there's a council of 12 people that are ruled by a position called an Elon. So take that as what you will. But okay, so this is from NASA. I'm just going to pull it up. This is their little, okay, there's no sound to it. This is their little video showing what they're going to do. This is not straight shot. Okay, it's not a straight shot to the far side of the moon. Over approximately 10 days, the Artemis 2 astronauts will orbit Earth twice before looping around the far side of the moon in a figure 8 and returning home. So that's what we got. And there was also people that were freaking out about, I think, other simulated things. And they're like, it's fake. I'm like, well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, yeah, that's a 3D rendering. We're aware. So I think before you just jump off the bandwagon and everyone freaks out, maybe just see, like, if you believe it's fake, let's say you believe it's fake, and I won't judge you about that. I will obviously push back on it, but let's say you have that take. Well, let's see what they bring back then. Let's see what footage they show, right? They got anons from around the world watching. And that's going to lead us to a very interesting clip that I found that I think a lot of you guys will appreciate. Now, there was a clip of this going around all over X this morning. Morning for me in Alaska, by the way. Way late at night for you guys. So it's of the astronauts, and they cut out certain super cuts that make them go, oh man, I hope we show real things and it's not fake. And then there's this guy, he's the captain, and him saying that basically nobody's ever been on the moon before. Now they're putting it out showing that, oh, it's all fake, it's all fake, it's all fake. Okay. Sure, that's a take. But I was like, I got to find the full clip, okay? Because you know how I am. I'm like, okay, I need to understand the context. Believe it or not, he says something interesting right before. He says, now this might be taken a weird way, but ... and I'm going to play it for you. And then I'm going to give you my take on it. So these are the astronauts right now. If you follow the fact that they're on a ship in space right now going to the moon, these are the ones on the ship. This is the captain. Now listen to what he says.
I want to bridge. This is going to be an odd answer. It might land wrong, but I'm going to try anyway. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, take a brief moment to go, that's awesome.
Okay, it is quiet. I don't know why it's quiet. I do have the live stream of the whole thing. I'd have to fast forward through it on the NASA YouTube, which I can do. But I want to rewind it again so you guys can hear this. He says this might be taken the wrong way. So he already knows what they were saying on the online clips is that he accidentally had a Freudian slip and he accidentally said it. No, he's making a platform to stand on right before he says what he's about to say. And he says it might even be taken wrong, but I'm going to say it. So remember what I was saying, how I think that those pictures they shown from the beginning are not real. And I'm not saying that we didn't necessarily go to the moon. I don't know. I just know those photos just don't track. They don't track. There's no way. There's things. There's shadows. There's the obvious one. Who's taking the picture? Neil Armstrong coming down. So everybody knows. So, however, they state this. He states this, and he's the captain. So I'll play the whole thing through so you guys can kind of get the feel of it.
I have to follow your lead. That was an excellent answer as well. I want to bridge. This is going to be an odd answer. It might land wrong, but I'm going to try anyway. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome. One of the things that we most asked for and look forward to is we are going to do a crew conference between Integrity and the International Space Station, the crew that's up there. And I will tell you, our friends that are on Crew 11 and our friends that are getting ready to launch on Crew 12 are arm wrestling between the station and home to see who gets to be in space when they talk. Like, they're as fired up as we are, and I did not expect that. But we are kind of talking about legacy here. And, you know, when we started this 2.5 years ago, we did a lot of this, like, big, huge strategic thinking, huge inspiration. The last 6 months, it's totally changed. We are thinking about, how does this computer talk to this computer? How do these abort systems work when we're over the Atlantic Ocean, over Africa, over the Indian Ocean? We are thinking a completely different set of thoughts, and that is awesome. And when I look at the future, when we talk about what is our legacy, I don't want to look 5 years or 10 years in the future. I want to look 100 or 200 years in the future. And honestly, this is where I thought this might land wrong. I hope we're forgotten. 100%. If we are forgotten, then Artemis has been successful. We have humans on Mars. We have humans out on the moons of Saturn. We are expanding in the solar system. We have robotic precursor missions going out. We already have spacecraft outside of our solar system. Maybe we've invented something that we never even dreamed of, and maybe we inspired some kid somewhere, and maybe that's our footnote. We inspired Susie or Johnny to do what they did. That would be magical.
Okay, we'll take a question here in the back. Go ahead.
Sandy Faneros from WPCAN in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Reed, I have a question for you. And first of all, I want to thank you for all of those great Artemis 2 updates on Instagram. They're wonderful. They make us all feel part of the mission.
I appreciate it.
No, really, it's great. You said that an EVA or spacewalk was mentally and physically the most difficult thing you've ever done. And I've got to believe that landing in a Soyuz spacecraft has got to be pretty physically challenging as well. As you look at the challenges of going to the moon, how does this look, this new challenge look to you as comparison to what you've done before?
Okay, I guess they just added that little part. Okay. Wow. Okay, there is strange things too, right? The part where he goes, I want you to forget about us. That's weird. But yeah, this first part, there people have pointed out there's a few little interesting things in this. But the one thing that I always think about is, if that was fake from the past, and we know how Trump is all about, what I say, authenticity, being the same, wanting the truth, seeking the truth, and doing it not just for him, doing it for us. And in a way, telling us, get up on your own 2 feet. You start caring. You start giving a darn, right? To light that spark in the human spirit again, to want to. Now, this is something I have to say about this whole NASA thing. Okay, I'm going to play this first part real quick, just because it's so good, right? I'm going to play it real quick, and I'm going to say something.
That was an excellent answer as well. I want to bridge. This is going to be an odd answer. It might land wrong, but I'm going to try anyway. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome.
Okay. And then there's weird, right? Later on, how he goes, this is what I was really saying. And it did not even forget us. That was really weird too, right? The whole thing is weird. If you guys think it's weird, please let me know your thoughts and takes on this. But what I take this as, it's just one man, okay? But he is the astronaut. He just said, this will be the first time somebody goes to the moon. And he didn't correct himself. He just later on said, this is what I was trying to say, and it had nothing to do with that. So that was weird. So I showed that to Brad this morning, and he was like, Brad knows stuff about stuff. Okay. And I wish I could just have him on right now to talk to him, but he probably wouldn't come in here. But Brad, if you're watching, Brad, you should come here just for this part so you can explain some of the stuff. So this is what Brad told me. So he's like, now think about this. Remember how they said, oh, we lost the papers, the trajectory data to get to the moon. NASA This is why they can't go back, guys. This is what they told us why they couldn't go back. Oh, we lost the papers. Okay. Also, the Challenger blew up. This is something else. Okay. People that understand the power of fear and the power of mass fear. So think about 9/11, right? It was a mass traumatic event. That's what it's called. It's a shared traumatic event that everybody goes through. COVID was another one. The Challenger exploding, I wasn't alive for it, but that, I don't think it was anyway. That was a way to keep people from continuing this thing. Like, think about this. Like, everybody's getting excited, going to space. Like, no, I'm going to go to a crazy land about what I think might have happened, and this will be fun. But you need to make everybody not go down a route. Let's say they found something. Let's say space is not what they think it is. Let's say they found ancient tech. Let's say aliens. Let's say all kinds of stuff, right? Oh, we have to have a story to make it so that we don't do it, and we just kind of get it out of the public's minds for a while. Oh, explosion. People died. Now we can't talk about it because people died. Right? And then Billy and Bobby, that were all excited about going to the moon, they're like, oh, but they blew up. I don't want to blow up. Right? I mean, I'm just being honest here because I think about the psychological world. These people have done studies. They have paid billions of dollars in psychological studies that involved people that they called expendables, like studies that killed them, okay, through the CIA. I'm talking about MK Ultra and stuff. They've been obsessed, they meaning the cabal, they've been obsessed with understanding how our minds work and how they can control us as a mass. And so these events, and I'm not saying it was fake, I'm not saying it's real, I'm just saying it blew up. And then nobody went to the moon again. And they lost the papers. And then this is what Brad told me. And he goes, and if you look up their names, you will find what did he say? You will find they're all still alive. And there's even, I guess, pictures of them, and they are like twins. And everybody says, oh, that's twins. Like, I haven't even looked into it, but he was saying, if you look into it, so this is going to be a fun little rabbit hole. I'm going to have to do it after I get off the stream. That apparently they are still supposedly living. And so I will leave it at that. I don't have sauce. It's just something he told me. So yeah. But anyways, this is very interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And that was taken from this event. It says it was streamed 6 months ago. Okay, this was streamed live on September 24th, 2025. And this is the whole conversation. I will put it in here. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to throw it up now. I think I have a thing where I could send it to all of you guys on all platforms. So I'm going to send it to you right now.
Effects of space.
A century.
Oh, what was that? Did you guys ever watch this? I've got other things to go through, but I just realized I was paused on some weird kind of nanotech stuff. Where was I? Okay, well, have fun. Whatever they're talking about. Okay. So now I'm going to go here. This was so freaking funny. So yesterday there was a kid, right? People seen him, CNN. He says, because we're going to the moon, right? The White House went ahead and took it and made it one of their little, you could call it good propaganda videos. So let's check it out.
Why do you love being a part of history?
We're going back to the fucking moon, that's why.
Right? So think about that when I was saying the Challenger that blew up, right? All the young boys at that time. Think about that. It was in the beginning of the 70s, right? And the kids were like, we're going to go to the moon. They were expecting what we're starting to experience now, and it didn't come. And so I think there was, I think there were things. Do you want me to tell you what my thoughts are? Actually, we'll hold off for a minute because I will get to the Bob Lazar in a minute. Because I do have, well, you know what? Because that's at the end, and I'm going to go to COVID stuff. So let's just pull that over here because it's definitely on point. Okay. So, okay, we're going to play that in just a second. Now, this comes out tomorrow. I'm definitely going to be watching it. Can't help myself. I'm such an alien freak. Not in a bad way. Not that I'm thinking there's green men running on all around the place. It's just more like, I'm pretty sure there's more. I'm pretty sure that there's backwards, reversed technology. And so this is my conspiracy world, I'll tell you. Okay. So this is my theory. What if back in the day, and this also goes into their alien crashes and stuff that happened in New Mexico. And also, I wish I could remember, New Mexico had a lot of crashes. This was during the Roswell time, and there was cover-ups. And my theory is that we discovered something, whether it was, just reverse or, a crashed craft, and or discovering ancient tech, like let's say a Stargate, right? This is where we're going to go way off. Just bear with me. Because think about this, right? If you guys watch Stargate, you'll know that the two governments that have the Stargate is the US government and the Russian government. During the space race, what was going on, right? Think about that. Get the Russians, and I do believe that Stargate is a form of a D-class. I really do believe that. There's just too many things I'll be researching. I'm like, that's just like Stargate. And then you look at the director and how they said that they had confidants that they talked to and got all this information. Yeah. So yes, there's a lot of stuff that I think, and then of course, during the beginning of the Q posts, when they start talking about Project Looking Glass, and I watched Brad's video, right? That was a great video. And they were talking about how they backwards engineered the Stargates to be a looking glass. And how that would be is, let's say I was using a Stargate to go from Earth to Mars, okay? It goes faster than light, if you want to put it that way, and it might even almost go faster than time, but not quite. That would be what we would call the event horizon. So when you're passing through, the concept is you might be able to see it. Now, in the Looking Glass project, they kind of outline that there's some way to refract or see over that horizon is the concept. Now, whether it's true or not, and try to predict the future or see the future, and then again, remember how I said there's nothing new under the sun? I was just like, me and Brad were watching some videos about Moses, and they had people back then that were doing witchcraft things and seers trying to see the future, turning things like these type of concepts. Yeah, seeing the future. They've been around for a long time. So are they real? So that's something. I'm going to play this trailer. I haven't even watched it, and then we will talk about it.
Physical evidence now exists which proves that there is life elsewhere, and at least one form of that life has been here. As of 1989, that evidence was in the custody of the United States government. Between December of 1988 and April of 1989, I worked as a senior staff physicist in what has to be the most secret project in history. My job in this program was to be part of a back engineering team. This particular disc appeared to be in excellent condition, and because of its sleek appearance, I nicknamed it the Sport Model. The goal in this program was to see if the technology of the disc could be duplicated with Earth materials. To start up the reactor, of course, we need some element 115. In fact, you need 223 grams, machined into a wedge like this. The program out at S4 consisted of 3 projects: Project Galileo, Project Sidekick, and Project Looking Glass.
The file on top was Project Galileo, and as it turned out, that's the project that I was part of. And that clearly referred to reverse engineering a recovered alien spacecraft.
Just cannot be a secret from anyone, not just the American people, but the rest of the world.
All this stuff is something that happened to him. It's not who he is.
They're doing everything they can to keep this information secret.
That's empirical evidence. I saw a craft to do that, thanks to him.
Now this story spills. And the world changed.
Okay, hold on. When did it say? Was it tomorrow? I think I saw it. It was like tomorrow. I'm like, yep. So I'm going to watch it. It looks good. By the way, I didn't even know they mentioned Project Looking Glass. What the hoo-ha? So that is synchronicity right there, 100%. So it looks exciting. All right. Let me move back to where I was. We did the whole thing with the space. Okay, now... And everybody, you're so awesome. Let me jump down here and see what you all are up to, because I've been all preoccupied. Space. Oh, Bright Star, so good to see you. Yeah, I think it was you that you said you hope my shoulder gets better. I pulled my shoulder. I have like a sling here that my mom gave me, but I pulled it. Like, I don't even know exactly all the stuff, but it really went bad when we were offloading these pavers, like these cinder blocks from the back of the truck, and that's what done it in. And but I'm doing okay. Last night was bad. I didn't really sleep too much, but yeah, it sucks getting older. That's okay. That's all right. It's good to do things, like going out on the property and working on it. Me and Brad have very soon upcoming plans about we want to set up cams for broadcasting. So like when we're down there, I mean, obviously it's not going to be like watching us perform all day long. Like, it's just, we're going to have them set up, and we could have like a live stream, and then you will see us as we are working, building the shop or the shed, because we just had started putting the boards across the roof, and it snowed like a crazy snow. We were buried. And when we went down there to drop those cinder blocks off, we got stuck like halfway down the hill because the snow was still that thick, and we were in 4-wheel drive and everything. And Brad was like gunning it, and like finally we were able to, but there was like a crick on the side. I told Brad, I'm like, get me out. So I got out of the car, walked to the side. I'm like sitting here like biting my nails while he's like, he dug out some of the back tires is what he did. And then he was able to, go for it. So it was fun. Good times. But yeah, I pulled my shoulder, but I feel a little better today. So that's good. I'm kind of babying it. Okay. So use some castor oil if you have some. Oh, really? What does it do? Castor oil? What the heck? Hold on. Let me look it up real quick. It would be like for a torn muscle, I guess. Let's see. What does it say? Castor oil is used topically to help manage the muscle tears. Are you serious? And strains by reducing pain and inflammation, largely due to its high concentration of ricnolic acid. Whoa. Applied as a heated pack or massage oil. It's to improve lymphatic circulation, speed up healing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that. I am going to definitely get some castor oil. I don't think I have some. I bet you my mom or my sister might have some. I'll call them. That's a good idea. Yeah. Thank you guys. You're so sweet out there. Nate says, I used to be on the moon landing was a hoax side, but I now believe they did go to the moon back then is what those astronauts seen on the moon that they didn't want them to speak about. See, Nate, I'm just exactly like with you. Like, because that's what I feel. I'm like, clearly they're sending rockets up. I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes. I have. They're going up. And then there's always this argument. They're like, look, it's curving. They're not leaving. I'm sorry. That's what it looks like as it's going up. But most of the time, like it will literally, it's going up. It has to go with the trajectory. So yeah, they're going up. But what is it exactly? And I think there's a lot of stuff that we do not know. Just like what Bob Lazar was talking about, backwards engineering, reverse engineering. In Behold a Pale Horse, that book is very good as far as the alien situation explained, the best that fits into the global cabal and the New World Order and everything. It's the best that I have come across, and it tracks with historic events. Another great mini series, guys, to watch, and you can find it on YouTube, but it's weird because they've taken it off of Netflix. They've taken it off of everything. Prime, they've taken it off of everything. It's a mini series called Taken, and it's not the one of the guy where his daughter gets taken, because that one is also called Taken. Not that one. It's a mini series called Taken, and it is directed by Steven Spielberg. There's 10 episodes, but they're really long. It's like a, if you watch them all together, it's going to be like a 10-hour, no, even longer, like a day and a half watch or something. But that also very much explains the whole thing with Roswell crash, the Greys, hybrid breeding program, and not in like necessarily a scary way. It's done so well. And it starts from the 60s time frame on up, and it goes through this family's generation. It's really great. It explains the Foo Fighter situation that the pilot saw back in World War II. And it's great. It's definitely worth a watch. Okay. So I Googled it. Approximately, well, it wasn't Google, it was Google and Grok and a few other things, but approximately 29 to 30% of the world's population did not receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Congratulations for resisting. You are rare. And you are. So let's see. What were we exposed to? Because we were talking about propaganda, right? This is what we were exposed to. It's going to go fast. You can barely read the articles, but you can get the idea. The unvaccinated, how dare they? Go fuck yourself. Holy crap, man. amnesty. It's funny. I'm like, no, bro, they're the ones that are in the wrong. We don't need, like, they're the crazy mother frickers. But yeah, some of these, I had to look up something real quick. The 10 stages of genocide. Okay, let me come back here so I can see you guys. All right. So some of these are insane, and I had to go back because it is just too fast. Eric Clapton's Different Views calls anti-vaxxers fruitcakes. You are called a fruitcake. We're a lethal liability, scaring you with the legal talk. Don't want to be that liability now, do we? No, we don't want to be that. Sorry. I'm trying to like get on camera here. Wow. James Corden says those who refuse experimental jab deserve a knuckle sandwich and should be excluded from society. Like, can you imagine? And they want also us to kind of forget this so that this is embedded as a traumatic event for us to always wear as a scar. But I refuse to. Like, honestly, F these guys. Like, if, you know, these people, they don't believe in the my body, my choice, right? We did. We always do. We always will. And that's all there is to it. But yeah, so some of these, man, it's just, it's crazy to see what we went through. And you guys went through this. Anybody, you know, that refused. And even if you got the jab, you know, I'm hoping that this damages can be reversed and will be reversed. But, you know, I'm not going to give any promises. I'm no doctor. I'm just saying that it was definitely meant to attack your immune system. There is no argument about that. Anybody will tell you that. If you look at what happens as a person right before they took the jab, they took their blood. There was a private doctor that did this. He knew his patient was going to get the vaccine. He didn't want to. He did it under distress, but he was going to lose his job if he didn't. So he told his doctor, hey, take my blood work before I go get the jab. Okay. So they went and got his blood work. You saw everything. It had like his T cells, which are like the white blood cells that the T fighter cells that say, hey, something's wrong. You know, the level of that. There's all these levels, right? Right after he took it, but then not just for that day. He came in even like a week after that, and then 2 weeks after that. And I'm telling you, the long lasting effects of that vaccine, which was not a vaccine at all, really messed with the immune system. It caused your body to, first of all, it's going to go under attack. It also, I don't want to freak people out, but the way that the messenger RNA was inserted to send out this spike protein to say, you know, to supposedly kill this COVID virus, they used parts of the HIV virus that is able to break through the cell wall to deliver that medicine to your cell reproduction mechanism. That's nuts. This should have never, ever happened. Nobody knew what it was. And so now I'm under the theory that can be reversed. You would do it pretty much the same way, and you would insert the original human DNA gene. I don't know. I don't know how far to go with that, but I do know that what they put us through was insane. And also it was just quite strange that the whole world clamored that we all take it. And so that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm glad that I didn't. And congratulations to all you guys that didn't as well. That's absolutely amazing. And I do believe there will be ways, guys, that the damage can be fixed as well. I think a lot of the damage has already been done because there was a lot of heart attacks. There was a lot of myocarditis. I don't know if I said that right. It's basically blood clotting. So it was an attack. It was an attack on us. Okay, I'm going to play this clip. I don't know what documentary this was necessarily from because he doesn't say. Yeah, I don't think he actually says, but I had seen clips from this before, but this is a great little backstory on Dr. Fauci's history.
Anthony Fauci helped arrange for the drug companies to get access to children in foster homes in 7 states.
There was a children's center in New York, in the Bronx, called Incarnation Center, where foster children or children who were considered to have AIDS through PCR tests that were inaccurate were put in this medical center, and they were used for experimental drugs.
Some of the children were infants. Some of the children were not even HIV positive. Fauci, together with pharmaceutical companies, sponsored these experiments. I use the terminology that's used in the Nuremberg Code. These are experiments. They're not studies. These are invasive experiments.
Some of the trials, some of the protocols say that the children are, and I quote, presumed to be HIV positive. Now, what kind of society are we that children who are only presumed, and by whom are they presumed? What criteria makes them presumed to be HIV, that those children then get exposed to as many as 7 highly toxic experimental drugs?
And what I uncovered was that the promise that Dr. Fauci and his team made to these foster children agencies is for every child that you allow to enroll in this, we're going to give them an advocate, a patient advocate, to watch their well-being like their parents, because they're disconnected from their parents when you're a foster child. This patient advocate will watch the data, they'll be briefed, and they'll protect that child's personal and safety interests as they go through this very toxic drug trial. And it turns out that in almost all those cases, the NIAID, Fauci's division, didn't provide that advocate after the fact. And the ultimate investigation concluded that these were unexplained, mysterious deaths that were very troubling because of the fact that NIAID had not given them the protections of an advocate, somebody to watch out and be that child's parent as these drugs were being administered to. So very much like the Tuskegee syphilis experiment in the 40s.
In 92, the NIH decided that this population was going to be as good as any to test drugs on.
Aren't there rules against testing on children?
Yes, there are.
Under federal rules, consent for children to take part in drug trials has to be given by their parent or guardian. But the kids at Incarnation have no independent voice. The body that is their legal guardian, the ACS, is the same body that makes the children available for trials.
National Institute of Health rules against using words of the state in clinical trials. But
how do they get around this?
Well, you get around it by appealing to public sympathy. If you go with the definition of AIDS that we have, which is a single cause, illness with no cure, blah blah blah, caused by one thing, instead of what it appears to be, the multifactorial, complex, treatable illness that occurs around the world because of poverty, drug toxicity, and other things. If you go with the first view, you can do anything you want.
So basically they're saying these babies have a death sentence anyway. It doesn't matter what we do. We can just do anything we need to do.
We're saving their lives.
Well, it is shocking that in New York City, experimental drug treatments are being used on children who are in foster care.
Even senior politicians in the city have found it impossible to get information about the trials. Bill Perkins is Deputy Majority Leader on New York City Council.
We do know that several have passed away during the course of these experiments, and we know that there are still some involved. And there's been somewhat of a secrecy about the whole matter. I must say, it has not been easy to get through the bureaucracy as to exactly what this is all about.
We're using toxic drugs on infants. We're using toxic drugs on children. Toxic drugs that cause genetic mutation, organ failure, bone marrow death, bodily deformations, brain damage, and fatal skin disorder.
There's a really good comment here. I just want to say, because we're halfway through this. Who was it? I lost it. Dang it. It was a good comment. Hold on. Oh, this one right here. Cosmic Grandpa. Oh, it's so good to see you, Cosmic Grandpa. Oh, rock and roll. I'm not even sure parents should have the right to subject their children to drug trials. I'm vibing that. Because see, even in the Constitution, like once you are born, you are responsible for you, right? Remember the my body, my choice. The child might not be able to comprehend or represent the child's self. However, we already come up with those types of situations where we have somebody as an advocate, you know, for the person. And I would say until that kid knows what the frick they're doing, like, no, don't touch them. What the is wrong with you, right? Like, who would do that? I don't know. There's one thing that I'm okay with. And again, the child. Okay, so you guys know of like the right to try that Trump did for cancer patients. Now, there might be a situation where a baby's dying of cancer and the baby is just, you know, baby doesn't know. And they're going to die. And there's a new thing to try. These are the gray grounds. I always play the devil's advocate, so I have to think from both sides, right? Because that's what our founding fathers did. We got to think of both. Like, yeah, we're going to go with this law 100%, but then you really got to understand, well, maybe what's the opposing side, so we figure it out. But yeah, in general, I don't know, man. What do you guys think? I think you should just leave the babies alone. It's just my take. Just leave the babies alone. Okay, I'm going to play the rest of it.
We're using that on orphans.
For months, we tried to get answers from those behind the trials. From Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, where many of the tests were devised. From Incarnation Children's Center, from the Catholic Church. And from the ACS, the authority ultimately responsible.
If the children wouldn't take the drugs by mouth, then they would put in a gastric tube.
Some of the older children refused to take the drugs that were given to them because they were so horrible. So they surgically inserted a feeding tube in their tummies so that they couldn't resist.
And many of these children died. A potter's grave of 80 children. And these were all children of color.
My assignment was to go there. So I did. I went to Hawthorne, New York, and I located this grave site. And what it looks like if you're standing before it, it was a semicircle of large tombstones with names engraved on the tombstones. I remember there were stuffed animals and flowers and hearts and things adorning those tombstones. And I also remember there were flies buzzing around. There was a mound, a gigantic hole in the ground covered by AstroTurf, and it wasn't nailed down. It was just covered. And I went over and I took a corner of the AstroTurf, and I remember, you know, my heart was pounding. I lifted it up, and inside was just a lot of coffins. They were in there haphazardly. And apparently there was more than one child in each coffin.
The drug companies which have supported trials at Incarnation include some of the world's largest. They also refuse to be interviewed for this program. Officials at the National Institutes for Health insist that any participation of children in drug trials should be voluntary in every sense.
These little children are regarded as throwaway children. Nothing really was done to punish those who broke the law.
Okay, so dang, dude. It's just like, you know, they really are the mad scientists. They really are the disgusting mad scientists, aren't they? And while that was going, I remembered I had a clip of a man calling out Dr. Fauci for this very thing, I believe. Want to play it real quick?
And I will put the lie to the individuals of the NIH, particularly Gallo and Fauci and Hazeltine and Essex, and the rest of these scoundrels of the worst order. Criminals guilty of genocide, without a doubt. I invite them to take me to court. I wish Burroughs Wellcome would take me to court, because they have been putting out a killer drug knowingly. Because in a court of law, I would have the opportunity to provide the absolute proof and evidence, as I have in my book, Deadly Deception. Now, I'm not alone in what I'm doing here today. How does the press escape such obvious truths? Why would the finest virologist in the world, the most noted virologist, member of our National Academy of Sciences, Peter Duesberg, why would he put his entire career on the line? What did he have to gain? He's already lost his laboratory and his funding. They can't take away his professorship because he's tenured.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So sorry, I was just trying to figure out who this person is. Deadly Deception by Robert E. Wilner. Okay, here it is. I did find it. Thank goodness. Okay, let me take it over here because I want to share it. You know what I mean? This is in my COVID files. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Okay, so it's Deadly Deception. It's the shocking truth is at last revealed in Deadly Deception. The proof that sex and HIV absolutely did not cause AIDS. So that's what that guy wrote. Okay, so remember that. Robert E. Wilner. Okay, so there we go. Now, I pulled up, what was the other thing I pulled up? I pulled up a few things to do with COVID. I'm just going to play them one by one because I know I've been live for crazy. Well, I guess an hour and a half. It's not bad. Okay. What was this one? I'm just going to play them blindly. Kind of fun.
We have malaria, tuberculosis, HIV. These are things that are there. And then the other thing that I aspirationally hope to be able to encounter is the ability to rapidly respond to something brand new, whether it's a brand new pandemic or, as you mentioned, a brand new attack upon us deliberately by bioterror.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, don't panic, get your flu shot. Is that fair?
You bet, and I already have.
Very good.
Yeah.
That was before COVID-19, by the way. So everybody knows that was. Okay, I got a few more. Dang, sorry about the crazy loud noise. I couldn't turn it down because I uploaded it directly. But yes, that was during the COVID time. I remember that. So even that video you see her going like this, I think that's they're not getting the blood they need because they have massive clotting. And some of these clots they've pulled out, they really don't look natural. So keep that in mind. Okay, now real quick before I move on, this was the thing I was talking about. I do this all the time. I mentioned something and then I forget to pull it up. Okay, did I pull it up? Okay, I did. The 10 stages of genocide. This is what I want to show you when I was saying, can I make it bigger? Oh, it's taking me to X. It's taking me to X. That's fine. Okay, here we go. 10 stages of genocide. Now, when people were making fun of us and saying, you're taking the shot, you're stupid, you're causing us to die, you know, all the stuff that was said, it always reminds me of this part, dehumanization. This is stage 4. And they equate people with animals, vermin, and diseases. And now we were starting to touch that. They were attacking our mental ability, like we're dumb, we're stupid, we're idiots. And so, yeah, so we went through a lot of this. Organization, government creates special groups, police, military to enforce policies. This was done through the white coats, you know, pretty much through the hospitals. It was clever. Polarization, the government broadcast propaganda to turn the populace against the group. 100%. I remember seeing something outside of a grocery store in our small little town. It was a few towns over. And it was like, get the vaccine. We want to see your happy smile. Because if you don't, you have to wear the mask and we can't see your happy smile. And I remember going, this is the most insane mind, right? That was ever happened. I couldn't believe it. Like, if you really step back and you go like, holy cow, the world went through some crazy stuff. We went through this. Luckily, we didn't get no genocide. But this was also from a book where somebody just pretty much wrote down what they observed by studying the different, right here, it says Stanton Gregory, 10 stages of genocide watch. So you could probably find it. But it was the patterns that he saw. Remember, we were talking about patterns earlier. That has happened throughout history, and what happens in order for people to get to the point where, like, this group of people is non-human, doesn't deserve to live, is killing us, the poor, terrible, unvaccinated, right? We went through it. And so, yeah, not to focus too much on the negative with that, but just to show, man, that we have been through the ringer and we are special. Because I'll go back to this. You're of the 29 to 30% of the world's population that didn't take it. So you resisted that. So congratulations on that. All right. Now, we're going to have to go rapid fire through this stuff because I had still a bunch more, but this will go on for a while if I don't try to wrap things up. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please give me thumbs up. I'm going to go through a few videos. This one is funny as all get out. I think it was Parliament. Okay, Red Pill Bot doesn't even say. This was definitely done over in like a European parliament, but check out what this is about. So I said the power of conformity, group dynamics, and the love of money is all it took. The Green New Hoax in action.
What percent of our atmosphere is CO2?
Repeat that question.
What percent of our atmosphere is CO2?
Repeat that question.
What percent of our atmosphere is CO2, carbon dioxide?
About 5%.
5?
I'll just follow you then.
We'll get a 7. That's my favorite number. I'll see their 5 and suggest that we know that transportation causes 49% of CO2. So that's why we're all working on
Okay.
energy transition.
All right. So what number do you think it is?
5.
5. Do you have one, Mr. Boyd?
So we got a 5, 7, 8. I'm going to hit the high end.
The answer is 0.04%, not 1%, not 0.5%, 0.04%. And it's gone up from 0.03 over the last couple decades. This is what we're being all contorted into doing, is this tiny change in CO2. If we get below 0.02, plant life starts dying off. What percent of our atmosphere is CO2?
Repeat that question.
What percent of our atmosphere is CO2?
Sorry, guys, I got sidetracked looking at chat. I'm going to talk to you because it's such great conversation. But the whole point here is the CO2 hoax. I can't believe it. They didn't even know. And then the guy asking it, he's got the numbers. He's saying, where was it? Not 1. Where is it? 0.4%. And that if you go a little bit below that, the plants don't have the food to eat. They love our carbon dioxide. And then we love the oxygen they give out to us. It's a wonderful system. I don't need no New World Deep State Order. Hell on me. Because we all know it's a scam. And that's why Trump calls it the Green New Scam, right? Okay. So everybody down here is so awesome. I saw great conversations about COVID. I'm going to go back up. I hope you don't mind because I just love all the conversation. Okay. Mass murder worldwide. Yes. Somebody was saying they don't believe in viruses. Who was it? Dang it. Somebody was just saying that, and I've heard that theory. Who was it? I'm sorry. I'm just going back. Nate 498 says there's a concept out there saying that there was never a poison jab, but only saline solutions, and that all the deaths were related to the saline reactions. Very interesting. And I've also heard that, like, you know how they said COVID, whatever, that the records and the reporting of the regular flu, right, that year didn't exist. The flu just disappeared, right? Because these tests to see if you had COVID, even the guy that made the test himself said it could test positive for pretty much anything. And so it's wild. Yeah, I like all these thoughts, all these theories. Okay. Katita says, yeah, hubby has been living with a fib and heart failure. He says it was a mistake to get it. Oh, I am so sorry. And see, that's the thing. When I talk about this, I'm always like, yeah, it's so great we didn't get the jab. But I'm aware that there's so many people that got it. And I do believe that the human body is insanely powerful and it can fight back. The main way it attacked through the cells, that's the other thing, is we can reproduce cells to fight it. But it attacked the immune system. So you got to treat it in a way like it's a virus, like it's, I don't want to quite say a parasite, but kind of. You would definitely want to do the same type of thing with like ivermectin and fenbendazole. Look into all those protocols, definitely, because they were doing it for COVID, but it's almost like in the vaccine, it was the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? There's just something that hopefully it'll all be figured out. But yeah, it's shame on the world for forcing people to take it. It's just absolutely terrible. All right. And, with that, I did have this clip here of this woman. And I had at the time gathered a bunch of COVID vaccine injured videos at the time. And the news didn't want people to see these things. So this was one lady. I have a ton of them, but I just grabbed one.
So I just wanted to share a bit of my story. I'm 46. I had no prior health issues. I got my first vaccine, which was AstraZeneca, My husband and I got it at the same time. We got it in April 12th. By July 1st, I was in hospital with full-blown Bell's palsy, caused by the vaccine, swelling in my brain from Pfizer. Immediately, my husband and I got sick after our second vaccine, and then 5 days later, my husband got better, and I didn't get better, and I slowly got worse. I ended up with tonsil stones on the right side. My doctor prescribed some antibiotics. 3 days later, I had the palsy, and I was in the hospital. I'd been sick for so long, like 10 days at that point. I had lost a lot of weight. I'm not a very big person as it is. And so I was put into a hospital. Within a couple days, I was on a feeding tube, and I was almost in ICU. I spent 18 days in hospital. I got out, and now it's been on January 2nd, it'll be 7 months, and it's only gotten worse. My palsy is pulling this way, which means my nerves are fusing together. So when I blink my eye, my mouth moves up. Nobody told me I was supposed to be getting physio. I found out just the other day, so now I'm in a program. I've also applied for the vaccine injury program in Canada, and I'm just waiting to hear back. It's really confusing. I was for the vaccine. I was first in line. Well, not literally, but I went and did my due diligence, and this happened to me. I'd like to know why. I hear there's over 200 of us, and I'd like to know why it happened to us. What do we have in common that made this happen? And is it ever going to go away? My doctors tell me they don't know. They've never seen it caused by the vaccine. So it's just wait and see. It's very frustrating. Alberta Health Services has done nothing. They say I'm going to be part of this program. I've done all the work. I'm just waiting to hear, but they've called me twice.
Okay, I pulled that down. So that, man, isn't that terrible? And that's just one of thousands and thousands. I mean, I remember somebody was keeping track of just people that were reporting, vaccine related injuries, and it was quite a bit. And it's terrible, and it should have never happened. Now, to wrap things up, we're actually gonna go towards something that some of you might get grossed out. If you gotta leave the channel, I ain't gonna blame you. I'm gonna try to go through it quick. It's just, this is something I covered way back in the day, and it's funny because everything loops around again. And of course, as we've learned about these globalist cabal, they are sick people. They are disgusting, sick people. And so I'm going to play this thing with Bill Gates here. Then it's going to lead into something I'm going to show you. It's interesting also. Well, I'll get to it. I'll play this first.
Looking at the genetics of cows and saying, hey, some cows emit a lot of methane and some emit very, very little. And some cows survive in hot weather very well and some do not. And then along with our ability to edit genes, one of the most dramatic source of emissions that at one time I wasn't sure the path forward. Now we can see either making the cows better or various techniques where they create meat without the cow.
Okay. At first I thought he was going to say either we change the cow or we change the climate, right? Because of the heat or something. But he's saying, or let's just make the meat.
They create meat without the cow.
Okay. So this is where we're going to go. This is where we're going to go. So hold on to your hats. Now, see that this was posted 12 years ago. So this is old news. However, again, it's new news in a way. This was something I came across, and it's a company called Byte Labs, which when I research it and trying to track it down, there's just nothing new from it, okay? It was a flop. And you're about to see why. Try not to get too disturbed. Okay, so what did you guys just see? They said, you want to be closer to your celebrities? You love them? Well, why don't you just eat them? We're going to grow it into salami for you. Yes, this is real. I know. Yeah, you've seen it. I'm so glad you've seen it. Okay, so it didn't really fly for obvious reasons because, like, even if it's grown meat, that's cannibalism, bro. Are you serious? But yeah, so here's an article about it. I'll read it to you. Celebrity meat. Don't just watch your favorite actors. Eat them. Now remember what I was saying. The global cabal, these people are sick. And they like, their favorite thing to do is to get you to practice into their occult practices without you knowing. Right? So this would be one of those things. Byte Labs might just have one of the grabbiest landing pages we've ever seen, pictured above. Eat celebrity meat. Byte Labs grows meat from celebrity tissue samples and uses it to make artesian salami. This is just insane to me that this exists. Can you not click to learn more? We did, and here's what we found. Citing Winston Churchill's 1931 prediction that the meat of the future would all be grown in labs, allowing you to produce only the parts of animals you want to eat, why bother with the whole chicken when you just want a breast or a wing? Byte Labs boast the many benefits of in vitro meat production. It's healthy, no growth hormones, highly controlled, cruelty-free, and reduces waste and environmental impact of slaughterhouses. But by the way, you're also saying that it's human. It's not chicken. You're actually Byte Labs also includes an easy to follow how-to if you want to give meat growing a go for yourself. Holy. So yeah, that was the dream. And I hope that dream. Oh, growing it. Let's cook it. Okay. So, right. I hope that dream didn't continue. I couldn't find anything new about it, but it reminded me of a video and I was able to track it down. And I think some of you guys will be like, yes. Some of you will be like, no. And everybody's just going to be gross. This, it says posted 2 years ago, but I think that this was like a couple years before then. And this is Netanyahu visiting a stakeholder foods to taste 3D printed cultivated fish.
שומן, והיא יודעת להדפיס טונות ביום. טונות של בשר מתורבת ביום. זה רק לשם ההמחשה, אתה תוכל לבחור את הסטייק שלך, והמדפסת תתחיל לשחרר סטייקים בקצב תעשייתי. סירליון, לא יודע אם אתה אוהב יותר שומן או פחות שומן. באמצע. view order, slide to print, ופה בעצם המדפסת מתחילה לייצר סטייקים. סטייקים, הייחודיות פה היא שתאי הגזע נשארים חיים אחרי שהם מודפסים. סטייק יהיה מוכן בסביב הדקה. דקה. השלב פה הוא שווה ערך לשלב שבו הפרה נולדת בעצם, הפרה לוקח 2 עד שהיא נשחטת, היא מזהמת את העולם בתהליך, פה זה תהליך שהוא הרבה יותר קצר,
בלי שטח, בלי מים ובלי
בלי
כוח.
שטח, בלי מים, בלי חתימה
בלי
פחמנית,
פליטות,
בלי פליטות ובלי כלום.
איפה הסטייק?
הסטייק עכשיו מודפס, ועכשיו אנחנו נעבור
זה המקדונלדס של העתיד.
כן, כן, זה המקדונלדס, זו הקצבייה והמשחטה של העתיד.
פאסט פוד.
וההפתעה פה בעצם, אנחנו משיקים היום גם את המדפסת הזו, שהיא סמי תעשייתית, ובואו נעבור למדפסת השנייה, שזה השקה העולמית שלנו, שמדפיסה דג. פה זו מדפסת שמדפיסה מוצר שהוא מוכן לטיגון, מה שנקרא ready to cook. מכיל תאים אמיתיים, אנחנו מדפיסים בו בעצם פילה לוקוס, אין עוד חברה שיודעת לעשות דבר כזה, מכיל תאים אמיתיים, כ3 דקות להדפסה, לוקוס עם טקסטורה מורכבת, עכשיו אני אסגור אותה ונראה לכם כבר את זה מוכן, תן לה להדפיס, ככה זה נראה. ואנחנו נטעם את זה עוד רגע. פילה לוקוס מתורבת, שהודפס, מבלי בעצם להשתמש בדג עצמו.
זה מוכן עכשיו.
No!
פעם ראשונה בעולם שדבר כזה קורה.
אני אומר ככה.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. Live cells.
אפשר להמשיך, זה טעים.
Because look, I understand the way of the future. I grew up with watching Star Trek, watching, Star Wars, but Star Trek, like the thing that goes, makes their food. So I understand the coolness of that. However, I'm also aware that means your whole food supply is controlled by a printer. That's scary. Also, there's something that this goes into the spiritual side of things. Okay. So living out here, we were exposed, chickens, and my dad was a commercial fisherman. So he'd get halibut, we do salmon, crab, we get shrimp, pop the heads off. Right. So we got animals, we harvested them and we killed them and we sold them for meat. Now, and then when we moved, on land, learning how to hunt, then we would hunt and get our venison, really good food. I mean, and when you would talk to people, it's funny when I would, start to branch out a little bit and talk to people from down south, that's not common, right? I guess for people to go out hunting and stuff like that, especially girls. But there's the thing about when you go out and there's a thing about when you're going out there and you're spending time to go out there and you're hunting. Okay. So you're the hunter and you're going to have to just be okay with that. Because see, there's things like it overrides that. If you're providing for your family, I need to fill up my freezer for the winter because I can't afford food or I can't afford enough meat or whatever. And I've been in plenty of positions like that. A lot of people out here in Southeast Alaska, sometimes there's some harder winters. So then that overrides it. So you're like, oh, well, I need to take that deer for the meat. And then you do it and you shoot it. And it's sad. It is sad. For me, it always has been. But I always, when it happens, it's just a natural thing for me. and my sister actually does the same thing. Nobody taught us this. It just happens. My mom also does it. My mom is a huntress, by the way. She's a massive hunter. I'm not even close to a hunter she is. Her and one of my sisters are crazy good. But anyways, it's just like a natural thing that when you come upon the deer, because you gotta slice its throat so you make sure it dies all the way before you start gutting it. It's a very sacred thing. You got to do it right. You got to be there to learn how to do it when you're young. And we would always thank God for providing. That was always the takeaway that my dad would bring and my mom would bring was thank God for the provision. Thank God for the food. And then when we ate it, we were thankful for it. And we ate it all. First of all, we didn't throw it away. Don't even get me started about the public school system and just the waste and all the waste of food. But we were thankful and aware of where the food came from, that it was living. And sorry for that long story, but I just want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. When you start doing this, Actually, I'll probably play that with audio. When you start doing this, it's removing you from what's happening. And I don't know. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I just know how I was raised. I know I've heard stories that there would be like people, like this is obviously like super like dumb blonde people, but there are people that don't even know that meat comes from animals. They're like, no, you don't kill animals. It just comes from the store. You know, there are people, hopefully not a lot of them. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what you feel about it. Because it's one of those topics. I understand the futuristic side, Star Trek, you know, print your food, cool. But I also understand the other side. Like, are we removing ourselves too far from reality? So it's a question, I guess.
Meet the MX200, a state-of-the-art 3D printer revolutionizing plant-based food production, engineered for precision, scalability, and ease of use. Loading your materials is simple and efficient. Our feeding system ensures a steady, even flow to keep production moving smoothly. To begin, simply insert the tray. Each tray is designed to fit seamlessly. Now just watch as the MX200 brings plant-based products to life.
Okay, so this is a little different. This is not the living cells like that Netanyahu was doing. This is taking the plant base. But again, when they start to remove you from the real protein, which is the animal fat, which is the animal protein. I know plants have it, guys. I get it. But I have come to the conclusion that most like vegetarians and people like that are very much lacking in some very needed things that you could only get from animal-based protein. So this right here, we can already tell you're going to be deficient already. But they're taking it and then it's going to print it out.
Layer by layer, with unparalleled precision and consistency. Once printing is complete, simply remove the tray, now holding perfectly formed, ready-to-cook plant-based creations. Integrate with ease. The MX200's conveyor belt assembly seamlessly connects your printer to existing production lines.
No, we're going to print
Cleaning is as straightforward as its operation. With a few simple steps, you're ready for the next batch. The MX200, clean and ready for the next creation. A powerful tool that brings efficiency, precision, and innovation to every batch. From concept to creation, the MX200 brings your plant-based vision to life with every layer.
No.
For more information, visit our website.
I mean, you know, I guess technically we could do it, right? We could do that with meat. We could grind up his hamburger and put it in a tube and whatever. But you know what I mean? It's like the beginnings, right? You know what I'm talking about? It's like the beginnings. I can feel it. So yeah, that's something that we're gonna have to deal with as time goes on. But okay, so real quick before I wind this up, guys, you've been so amazing. I have hit the 2-hour mark. I'm going to be heading out here in just a moment. Please give me the thumbs up. This was what I was referring to earlier. Nick Shirley says, I have regained access to my account. I was hacked by someone in Queens, New York, who managed to sign in and lock me out of my account from all my devices. Thank you, X and Ala Grajatia team for helping get my account back quickly. All typos of fraudsters are coming at me. Oh, sorry. All types of fraudsters are coming at me. Yeah, you know, and that's what happens when you get put in the public view. But I think he's been doing a really good job considering that he's kind of was like just a kid that found something and he did something about it. And he should be an inspiration to all of us. And me and Brad have talked about him multiple times. And even people like Charlie Kirk, who were inspirations that were standing up against things. And they were doing what was right, right? I think it's good to do what's right. And we've talked about before on this channel, conformity is it's normal for us as humans to want to conform to the group. And it's normal for us to want to do groupthink and to not ruffle feathers. And that's actually a study that they've done. And when it comes down to the numbers, more people will conform to a strong person in the group that's saying, hey, I'm in charge, they're just going to conform to that, then the others that will just go, no, I'm going to trail my own path. So don't fall for that. Think for yourself, always think for yourself, and understand that there's multiple things at play. So yes, this whole thing with Pam Bondi, this whole thing with the astronauts going to the moon, my advice to you would be definitely take it all in. Definitely just take it all in. But when it comes to putting your opinion out, you want to be the most, like what Caroline Leavitt said, you want to be the most measured person in the room, right? Because knowledge is power, and you guys are very powerful for having this knowledge, right? So, just take it all in, and you can maybe do a more concise answer saying like, well, I guess maybe the answer is you don't know. Maybe the answer is we're going to wait and see. Like with the astronauts, I'm just waiting for the pictures and the videos, right? I mean, let's go. Let's see what happens. And so if you view life that way, it's actually kind of exciting. So with that, this is a great visual. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Might look like a deer. But is it a deer? That poor croc. He's hungry. You can tell he's hungry. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. I know it was all over the place. So please give me thumbs up. And I love seeing you all out here. We have B28. So good to see you. Dawn Star Rose. Thank you so much. Cosmic Grandpa. I'm so glad you hung out this whole time. Glad I stumbled by tonight. I am so glad as well. Christendom Defender, Clown World 101. I see all of you guys out here. It's so good to see all of you. And I'm hoping to finally schedule this. I am so sorry. Life has been hectic. But expect more. Expect more. All right. Peace out. Love you all. Mwah. I will see you next time. What if they disappear, the astronauts? Well, we'll see. I hope not. It'd be crazy. What if there are stargates on the moon? What if they brought them back? That's what I'm thinking. Call me, guys. Oh, and also, guys, look for me and Brad. We're going to be going live here really soon. So watch